peace, less stress and anxiety, and really embracing mindfulness is at the top of the list for so many people this year. And yet the question that I get asked the most is, Vicky, how do I actually get started with meditation? So this is what this video is going to be all about. This is to help you get started with meditating if you've never meditated before. And if you are someone who's been meditating, I'm actually going to give you some other ways in which you can stay present, aware, and in a more meditative state as you go throughout the day. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe and to like the videos. And hi, I'm Vicky. I am here to help you transform your life so that you can live with most authentic, happiest, most fulfilled version of your life. So let's get started. What is meditation? So let me read you the definition that the Webster Dictionary provides. What it says is that it's the state of being mindful and the practice of maintaining a non-judgmental state of heightened or complete awareness of one's thoughts, emotions, or experiences on a moment-to-moment basis. So that's a definition that Webster provides. But really, what I want you to know is that meditation, or being in a meditative, mindful state, is all it is placing awareness on your mind. A lot of the noise that goes on in our heads is actually all in here. It's in our heads. And so what mindfulness does, or meditation, is it actually forces you to stop, to pause, and to place awareness on the thoughts that are going through your mind. And the thing is, what a lot of us will do when we're trying to meditate is we will actually sit down, and then because there's a lot of noise, that's what people will say is, Vicky, I hear so much noise in my head. I can't stop the thinking. It's that judgment of the thought that is actually making you go nuts in your head when you're trying to meditate, versus if you just kind of accepted the fact, oh, okay, there's that thought going through. Okay, don't judge it and just let it pass through. And so that's what being in a mindful state is. It's literally observing the mind, observing the thoughts, observing the thought patterns, because these thoughts are not you, they're just thought patterns. So I really wanted to kind of like, for those who are new to mindfulness and to meditating, I wanted to make sure that you understood that that's what that really is. It's placing awareness on your thoughts, placing awareness on your feelings, and where you are. And that's what meditating is all about. The other thing that I also want to demystify for you is that everybody thinks about meditating as in like sitting in, with your legs crossed and just like in this meditative pose and, trying to meditate that way. You can actually meditate in so many different ways, because again, what you're doing is you're practicing presence, awareness, and you're being the observer of the mind. So let's talk about different ways in which you can actually meditate. And in fact, down in the description below, I include some music to help you meditate. I also include, a meditation that you can download for yourself, a guided meditation. So I absolutely want to include the resources to help you start with your meditation or to increase how much you are meditating. So let's talk about the different ways that you can meditate. So of course, the one that everybody knows about or has heard of is when you sit down, you close your eyes and you actually start to place awareness on your breath, right? Because what that does is it actually forces you to stop focusing on the noise in your head and to start focusing on the breathing and the breath that goes in and out, and actually helps cleanse your system. So that is a very common way to start meditating. And what you're doing at that point is make sure that you're actually literally becoming aware, because again, being mindful is being aware. So make sure that you're present and aware and really using all of your five senses to feel, to hear, to observe everything that is happening around you. So for example, if it's raining outside, I will sit and I will just listen to the rain. If the air conditioner is on, I will sit and listen to the air conditioner. And if a thought goes through, don't judge that thought. Don't judge it. Just say, oh, there's that thought, and just let it pass by. Again, you're placing awareness and you're acting as the observer of the thought. And instead of like really like, oh, well, and really starting to judge it and to get into, what is that thought about? Why am I thinking that? No, just let it go. And that's what being in a meditative or an aware state means. So again, sitting down, closing your eyes, listening to your breath go in and out. That is a very, very common way to get started. And that's how I got started, actually, just sitting in stillness. And that was very, very hard for me. So for anybody who's starting out, I really feel for you, because I was you just 2 years ago. So trust me, I've been there, I've done that. I know exactly how you're feeling. So that is an easy way to just like really get started and find the couple of minutes a day. Another way is, for someone who just can't still the mind, is just to listen to a guided meditation. There's nothing wrong with that. There's so many phenomenal guided meditations out there. I'm including some, again, music in the resources section in the description below. There's another guided meditation that you can also download and use anytime. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing it through a guided meditation. That might be actually a really nice way to kind of ease your way into meditating. But you can also switch it up. You could do in the morning, you could do, just sitting in stillness and in quiet. And then in the evening, you could listen to a guided meditation or vice versa. So you can absolutely switch it up and continue to keep it fresh and interesting for yourself, and in a way that makes you want to come back and to practice this again. Another thing that you could do, that I do a lot actually, is just to listen to relaxing music. Again, I've included some. I have a playlist that I created with music by this phenomenal artist. You can listen to her music, and really helps you reset. And I actually do this all throughout the day. So if I'm having a really stressful day at work, I will put on some of the music, and it just really helps me center myself and just to get me into that relaxed mode, a mode where I'm not stressing, but rather observing the fact that, okay, the mind is feeling stressed. I am feeling stressed. Okay, no problem, right? So again, it just helps reset you and helps you center yourself. So listening to, again, some relaxing music, a guided meditation, sitting in stillness, those are all phenomenal ways for you to help yourself or to help with the practice of mindfulness and meditation. The other thing that I want to encourage you to do is realize that being in that state of awareness is actually something that you could be doing all throughout the day, not just during that time that you carve out for meditating. So let me give you an example. If you go out for a walk, instead of being in your head and having 1,000 things flying through your mind about, I gotta do this and blah, blah, again, that noise, choose to still the noise and just to start to look around and to become extremely present. One of the things that I will do is I will listen to the wind that's blowing. So again, I'm using my ears to become extremely present in the moment. You can start to observe the space between the leaves, looking at the trees, observing, I walk my dog, so I'll observe my dog and how is the dog behaving. So again, being extremely present. And even if you do that for like 1 minute out of that walk, that right there will help reset you and will help, build your awareness and spaciousness that you're creating for yourself. The other thing is try to throughout the day. So I work, a corporate job, so I'm constantly in between meetings. So what I will do is I will build, 5 minutes in between my meetings, and I will just remind myself to become present. I'll be in my head, and then I'll say, oh, and then I just bring myself back to the present moment. I still myself, I look around, I just see, oh, okay, so I see so-and-so is walking by. Or if I'm walking, to the lunch area, I'll be walking by, and again, I will become present instead of being in my mind. So there are so many different ways in which you can exercise presence without actually sitting and meditating. So when you go out for a walk, that's an amazing time. If you take the public transportation, just become present and look around and watch people. People watching is actually phenomenal for awareness and presence, because you're again right there in the moment, not in your mind, observing. You're being the observer instead of participating in that noise that goes on in your head. And lastly, when you're taking a shower, it is actually one of the best times to be in that meditative state. Just, feel the hot water on your hands, look around, see the water that is splashing upon you. Again, bring presence and awareness to the process. And that's what actually being in a meditative state is all about. So in this video, I've included some resources for you. Again, click on the links below, take a look at the playlist that has all of the great music that you can use to help you meditate, to help you stay present and aware of, you and your life. And the last tip that I want to give you is, if you're new to meditating, start out with 5 minutes. If you've been meditating, try to increase it to at least 20 minutes. And really, I highly recommend doing it twice a day. I do it first thing in the morning and also in the evenings before going to bed. If you do it in the mornings, which is actually, if you had to choose between the two, try to do the one in the morning. Try to do it before you eat or drink any coffee. You can have some water, get ready, get dressed, and sit down and get into a meditative state, because you're actually in a great state at that point. At that point, you're in a state of least resistance because you just woke up. You haven't had the time to really go through, the noise that we tend to pick up throughout the day. So I would highly recommend that you do that. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, to subscribe, and please write yes if you are committing to starting your mindfulness practice this year and to really committing to reducing your anxiety, your stress, to sleeping better, and to just feeling better overall. Happy, healthy new year. And I hope that you do start your mindfulness practice.